What's up, YouTube? I'm back. It's Reviews for Success, aka Jonathan Panda. Welcome to the stream. Today, I have some big news for you all. From the title of the video, you already know Robinhood will be added to the S&P 500 coming up. I believe the date is September 20th. That's in about 2 to 3 weeks. And AppLovin is also another company that will be added to the S&P 500, and I'm going to talk a lot about that today. So here we go. All right. So first off, man, this market has been wild. From tariffs to upcoming Fed rate cuts to a lot of news happening. I'm excited. But right now, let me show you guys a stock heat map. Before I actually get into it, remember this video is for educational purposes only. Make sure to do your research before you make an investment. And I am not a CPA. I'm just a guy sharing his knowledge about stocks and the economy overall. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. So let me show you guys the stock heat map real quick. So this is how we look for the day, guys. So overall, we see a lot of bearishness going on. On the electronic and technology side, we see a little bit of neutral action. Nvidia's green, Apple's red. But overall, on the tech services side, we see a lot of green. Finance, retail, actually finance, we get a mix. And right here, retail, we get a lot of green. But look at this, consumer, producers, man, we see a lot of red. So overall, a neutral day. It was a polarizing day for the stock market. Look at how the SPY performed. So the SPY had a crazy day. It was a lot of chop action going on. Hold on. I switched screens. Let me let the screen load. But yeah, let me let the screen load for you guys. It's kind of choppy right now. But like I said, SPY had a choppy day. I expected SPY to fall and fill in this gap right here. Look at this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so y'all can see. So I expected SPY to fill this gap, but it did not. I even drew a trend line to where it could potentially fall if it did not fill the gap all the way through. But it actually did the reverse in the morning. It went up and then it started falling. I thought it was going to happen right here. But then look, right as soon as the market started to close out, things just started buying now. People started buying stocks. But yeah, that's how the market played out today. Now, you guys came here because Robinhood, one of the best stocks in the S&P 500, will be getting added to actually one of the best stocks in the stock market. I said the S&P 500 like it's already in it. It's not in the S&P 500 yet, but it will be soon. But yeah, Robinhood will be added to the S&P 500 soon, like I said, around September 20th. And I want you guys to see this price action. Guys, I'm going to switch the screen so y'all can see. This is how Robinhood has been moving in the past 3 trading days. If you thought Robinhood was going to fall, man, they played you. This looked like it was going to be a bear flag. And Friday, this is when this big fall happened. And they announced the news that it will be added to the S&P 500 Friday. And then look at what happened. It just rose up 10%. Sunday came around. This morning, I thought it was just going to play teeter-totter a little bit. I thought it was going to just go up to 112. But no, look, they got up all the way to 117. I believe it is 117, yeah. They're all the way up there at 117. Crazy. But yeah, that's what happens when you get added to the S&P 500. They will be replacing a company called Caesars Entertainment. The ticker symbol is CZR. And this is a major milestone for Robinhood because it's signaling that it's now being recognized as one of the 500 largest companies in the world, most influential public companies in the US. Another company that will be added to the S&P 500. I didn't add it to the thumbnail, and that's because I love Robinhood. AppLovin is another company that will be added to the S&P 500, and I'm not too knowledgeable on what AppLovin is, and I've done the majority of my research. Actually, I know a lot more about RobinHood in comparison to AppLovin. That's why it wasn't in a thumbnail. So if you're wondering why I didn't add it to the thumbnail, that's why. But AppLovin is also going to be added to the S&P 500. Look at the price action, guys, in the past 2-3 days. On Friday, they also fell. And look, they consolidated Friday. Once they announced the news, they shot up. And on the other side, they didn't rise up like RobinHood did today, but they still rose up a little more. They went from 537 to 547 today, man. That's crazy. On Friday, they went from 492 all the way up to 536. That is crazy, man. So AppLovin has been one of the top performing software names, and this move could bring even more institutional investments. So being added to the S&P 500 means big funds and ETFs that track the index will have to buy shares of these companies, which usually provides a boost in demand. Expect a short-term volatility days or weeks for these two companies as traders position around the official change on September 22nd, not September 20th, 22nd. Long term, it's a validation for both RobinHood and AppLovin as serious players in the industries. Now, the market is heavily focused on the Federal Reserve cut coming on September 17th. So be on a lookout for that. So right now, things are looking choppy, but in the next 2 weeks on September 17th, be aware there's a 95% chance that the Fed will cut rates. So I'm on a lookout for that right now. And like I said, AppLovin and RobinHood, AppLovin and RobinHood are one of the companies that will be affected once that cut happens. And this will be a big move. This will not be a small move. This will be a huge move. Last year in September when it happened, that was my first year investing, and the move that the market made was crazy. I was shook. I didn't think the market would move like that. So be aware, it's going to be a big move. And this will likely drive institutional flows, create some trading opportunities leading up to September 22nd. And overall, between the indexes, the changes in Fed policy, this month could be a pivotal month. So right now, we're bullish. SPY made an all-time high Friday, guys. We're still bullish. Regardless of what you think, we're actually still bullish. Guys, look at this. We're still bullish. Let me go ahead and change the screen for you guys. Look at this, guys. SPY made an all-time high Friday. And look, I thought they were going to fill this gap. September 17th is right around the corner. Who knows? We could be up at 672 by the time they announce the Fed rate cuts. But it's been a crazy month. The stock market is always crazy. And like I said, I am not a licensed professional. I am just a guy sharing his knowledge on stocks, what's going on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. How will the Fed rate cut affect the overall sentiment in the market? And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, a like, follow, subscribe. Leave your feedback in the comments like I said. And tune back in sometime this week, maybe tomorrow. I'm trying to do live streams like this every day. If you enjoy it, show some support. And the more support I get, the more confidence, the more I will be posting these videos. All right, y'all take care.